Hello, you guys. Welcome to the Post Fight Podcast. This is episode 12, I believe. Uh, we are recapping UFC 256. Very good card. Very, very good card. Uh, like I said, we've been on a break for a little bit, but like, who cares? Just these cards.
Treyvon was out of town, and I had a really bad stomach flu.
Yeah,
I got tested
it
for
happens.
COVID. It wasn't COVID. So,
But no, yeah. So we're gonna be recapping 256. Very good card. Pretty violent. In a good way. In the good ways. So we'll start off with the first fight of the night, which is Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno, and we'll get Arman to start off first. Give us his thoughts.
Oh man, I haven't rewatched it yet. I need to do that because Treyvon was saying he thought it was a pretty clear cut behind all the commentary. So okay, we'll get into it. He thought it was a pretty clear cut victory for Figueiredo, and that he disagrees with the majority draw. I'm not, as he said, upset with it because I thought the quality of the fight was so sublime that I'll forgive any potential robberies. However, I will say I don't want to talk about that. I don't know. The commentary was, as will be a theme throughout this podcast, rather awful. There was a lot of, excuse my vulgarity, dick sucking happening in this podcast. I mean, excuse me, not this podcast.
Hey, you never know. Go ahead.
On this fight card by the commentary, it was like focusing on like the accomplishments or some of the movements of the fighters as opposed to like the actual happenings of the fight themselves. And I think what happened with this fight is, Brandon Moreno, who's a very good fighter, was able to get some things off and get things working, especially down the stretch against Deiveson Figueiredo. And people, especially, I think the worst committer of this crime was Joe Rogan. We're just surprised to see it, that they overreacted to any ounce of success that Brandon Moreno had. Similar to how Joe Rogan would like overreact if someone took down Valentina Shevchenko and held her down for a round. Like, this isn't a fight, or someone hits Valentina Shevchenko. Like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? It's this weird thing that has been getting progressively worse in Joe Rogan's commentary career. Anyway, so on to the fight itself. The fight played out how Treyvon kind of predicted in very brief terms how he predicted it would happen a couple episodes ago when Figueiredo submitted Perez. Figueiredo marching him down, throwing death in all of his punches, trying to counter. It's not like he's just sitting and waiting on people to counter like Anderson Silva. He's not an incomplete counter striker in that sense. He kind of, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Treyvon, marches you down and creates exchanges and swings heavy. And he's got a really good ground game to supplant that. I thought the most effective thing, or the thing that Moreno was able to build the most off of was his jab. And it worked really well for him, but you could see hesitation coming from him after a few times. Actually, there was a cross counter that occurred where Figueiredo would throw like hard overhands over the top of Moreno's jab. And what really got Moreno into that fight was just this like fucking solid chin and I guess body too. I mean, he was getting like Treyvon said, it sounded like not even gunshots, man. It sounded like cannon fire. I mean, you could hear that. That shit made my heartbeat change. You know what I'm saying? He hit him hard, and Moreno just, he has this weird way of moving. I was talking about how Moreno, like, he'll fight like this. It's strange the way he walks. You know what I'm saying? But he kept coming, and I thought he was throwing lots of really good work to the body. He would jab, body, come up to the head. It was like fast combinations. His entries into clinches and then takedowns were really good. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed by his wrestling. Like, a lot of the trips and stuff he'd hit, like where he'd have the upper body clinch and then he'd turn the corner, get his leg on the outside and off balance Figueiredo to land in like side control or guard. Those were really good. The cheating in this fight was a little iffy for me. I don't, obviously there's the couple of eye pokes, one in which Jason Herzog said was clean. I don't know for sure. I will say this, there's the obvious nut shot that we all saw. I'm not in a fighter's head. I don't know what his intentions were. I will just say it was a very bad nut shot. It was probably like the second or third worst I've ever seen. And it came at a very convenient time for Figueiredo because he looked to have recuperated somewhat. Of course he did because it was 3 minutes, but it couldn't have happened at a better time, I think, except maybe in round 4. And it didn't happen after the point was taken away. But the most egregious and obvious one to me was Brandon Moreno took Figueiredo down, and Brandon Moreno is in his guard, and Figueiredo puts his hand across the hematoma that's forming underneath Moreno's eye, and it looks like he's like subtly gouging or pressing into it. And Moreno's looking at Jason and going, "Ah!" like, and then Jason's just not doing anything about it. But other than that, it was a great fight. After watching it again, both of them have fucking the durability of like the Great Wall of China. Like those guys could just take beatings, and yeah, it was a great fight. I was very happy with what I saw.
No, yes, like I say, the fight was good. Again, like Arman said, I personally think Fig won. I just rewatched it, and to be honest with you, man, like I think about the only round that you could kind of give Moreno is the fourth round. Even still, you could still probably give it to Fig too. But no, like okay, so the fight, I really enjoyed the fight. So like on Figueiredo's side, like his ability to control the distance, move his hips and head, and get a lot of the jabs to fall short were very nice, and it allowed him to counter too. So sometimes he'll pull back, easy jab, slip, easy jab. Well, not slipping, but just pull back from the jabs, and get him to fall short. Then sometimes he'll dip his head, boom. He's moving his head all around in his hips,
Yeah, I forgot about
and
that.
it allows him to like load up into some super hard jabs. It allows him to fling his body into some super hard jabs, and that also it allows him to like weave under stuff to cover distance under Moreno. So if he can't counter, if Moreno's not giving him anything to counter, he can just step in, weave under his shots, and deliver some disgustingly just potent like power punches on the entries.
And that's how he
a few
deals
times
with,
he would just
having nothing to counter, right? That's how he pressures.
yes, yeah. He would just weave in and then like throw, and then like weave in and just throw just a disgusting like lead left hook to the body or to the head. And then if Moreno doesn't back up off of that, he'll literally push him back and start to work more combos and all that.
Yeah.
Or if Moreno stands his ground, he'll just work like body hook combinations, man. Like I really love the way how Figueiredo fights because it maximizes his power. You want to maximize your attributes, man. He maximizes his like power punching capabilities like crazy. I freaking love it, man. But Moreno's lead hand also was really good, man. Like I say, some of his jabs are really good. He didn't really play much of the feint of the jab or get Figueiredo to move too much, which is something I would have liked him to see.
Right.
But even other than that, he would catch sometimes Figueiredo really well on his entries, though like body head combination with the jab, mix up his right hands. I think if Moreno would have went more to the body, things would have been a little bit easier for him. But he was getting countered pretty hard, so I can understand why he wasn't going to the body. Again, like you said, his clinch entries were nice. I really like Fig, man, but man, his takedown defense is just really poor. Like it's not even that he like it just really poor.
Well, you know what's interesting? I sorry to cut you off, Treyvon. I just made this connection. In some way, there's some subtle overlap between I don't want to use the word philosophy, from like the system of responding to takedowns between Figueiredo and Tony Ferguson. Like Figueiredo will pull guard, he'll go for leg entanglements, he'll look for guillotine and stuff like that, but there's no like fighting for underhooks and jockeying for the proper position in wrestling. You know, so that's sort of and we'll get to Tony Ferguson later, but and it works for him a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Like the armbar he almost pulled off against your boy, the alpha male guy, in their first fight, and then the guillotine that he got against. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
and then Perez, yeah. But no, yeah, it's like yeah, his takedown defense is pretty poor. But like overall though, man, like as like his offensive capabilities, Figueiredo is extremely potent. But no, like one of my friends on Twitter, a lot of friends on Twitter, his name is Ed Gallows, really good wrestling analysis. He talks about like offensively, he was talking about how like Figueiredo had like did a really nice a few times, slipped the jab into single leg entries. I know one time for sure specifically. And that's something I do, so I really like to see that slip the jab to single legs. Really easy to get to. He got Brandon Moreno down off of that one time. So that tells me that I think potentially Figueiredo, offensive, defensive wrestling skills are different. But Figueiredo, offensively as a wrestler, is really smart, really good, can use his timing. But defense, he just doesn't have like reactions. He doesn't have like tools and stuff like that. Like he doesn't fight underhooks. He tries to frame off a little bit too much. He was be too tall. But like again, overall the fight was freaking awesome. Like I cannot express how awesome the fight was. Potentially fight of the year. I think if they have a rematch though, I still think I'll pick Figueiredo, to be honest with you.
It goes one of two ways.
Because
either Figueiredo cleans him really fast, and it's not even close, or they have another fight of the year that Figueiredo wins. That's what I think.
Yeah, like man, as much as I respect and like Moreno, man, I really like Moreno, man. I really like him. I really respect his game. I respect him. Like just Moreno's cool, man. I just kind of don't know how he went. I don't really see an avenue for him to win this fight, because to me he fought the best fight he possibly could have, and he toughed it out the best way he could have, and like the result was at best a draw for him. To me, you know what I mean? Like I think this fight, and then too, in my opinion, too, on the short notice. Just give Fig more time to like be in shape. Give Fig more time to be able to solve the problem.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean?
He already saw Moreno's things that work.
Yes, and obviously you can say that Moreno he can use that time too. I just think Fig has much more opportunities to like hurt Brandon, more opportunities to grow in the fight than Moreno does.
I agree.
nonetheless, fight was awesome, really good. Like I can't really complain about the fight itself. Again, like the commentary, didn't like it at all.
No.
I think they were really heavy on the Moreno, like on his offense and not detailing the fact, like in the like not detailing the fact that Fig was hitting him with like
really
shots
hard,
that were audibly loud that you could very easily hear. And Moreno would do like a really nice body combination. I mean, not even combination. He would do like a body hook and a good body hook, but then Figueredo would hit him like 2 body hooks and a head hook, and he'd be like, "Wow, what body hook by Moreno?" I'm like
they're just
that's
obsessed
not
with Figueredo getting hit.
I'm like that's one shot to like 3, and the 3 are harder than the like even one of the 3 is harder than the one that Moreno gave. But nonetheless, Moreno did a great job getting himself back into the fight, surviving Fig's onslaught. Great fight. I do want to see it again. I'm not gonna lie. I do want to see it again.
For sure. I don't really have any more comments on that. Now for the Ferguson and the fight. This was my actually contender to be my favorite fight of the night, and it wasn't, obviously, because we had that amazing main event. But I will say to you, there are 2 reactions I had to this, and one, I am not surprised. And Treyvon and I were actually talking about this, and you can say how what I said affected you later, I guess. But I made a Facebook post about it where I basically said the dominance on the ground should not surprise anyone. Okay, it really shouldn't. And I am not surprised. The only thing that did surprise me in this fight, the stuff on the feet didn't surprise me as much. The striking that occurred on the feet didn't really surprise me as much. I think it happened like it was going to happen. Tony Ferguson's always been very hittable. Oliveira has been pretty hittable. He got hit, just like with random things a couple times during this fight, but there's more structure to Oliveira's game. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Ferguson does have it, but it's kind of like a chaotic thing that fits into this bundle, whereas Oliveira has like things he goes to. But what surprised me was like Tony Ferguson has always been someone who deals with takedowns and clinches very sporadically, right? Or like not sporadically, in a very eclectic way. And his takedown defense is very sporadic. Like sometimes if you get to his back, he fights the hands properly and turns towards you and slips to the backside. Sometimes he digs for underhooks and sprawls. Sometimes he'll snap you down off of a bad shot and go for a front headlock. Other times he just accepts it and pulls guard. Other times he tries to elbow you on the top of the head. Other times he does like a random roll. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll just let like Peterson roll or somersault away from things. You know, it's very much heat of the moment takedown defense, and it's not disciplined. Like he does whatever he wants. And this time he did nothing he should have done. So I was surprised with how often, I guess, what's his name? Oliveira was able to get to the clinch and then secure a takedown so dominantly, like just lift him up and throw him down, you know? But on the ground, it happened as exactly as I would expect a smothering top player to handle Tony Ferguson. Let me just read the post I made on Facebook because it kind of summarizes my thoughts on this more eloquently than I can probably verbalize it off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm just gonna just cut out the fucking.
And then in the meantime, I'll cover the time since Arman wants to go on Facebook for some reason. I don't know why anybody want to go on Facebook, but that's beside the point. No, so like I was telling Arman in Messenger, I was like he was telling me, he was like, I'm not surprised that Tony Ferguson got out grappled really heavily because anytime he faces a smothering grappler, they can shut down his scramble opportunities, pin him down, and crush his hips so that he can't move as much, and then bam, easy, but like he'll be able to be out grappled.
He'll always get smothered.
Because I told him, I was like, I'm surprised. I mean, like, I was like, I'm kind of surprised he got beat up so badly. I wasn't expecting that. But then once he said that, I was like, oh wait, duh. Like, of course, like I should have seen that coming. As 2 of us main proponents of Khabib is gonna smash Tony Ferguson, I didn't even see that coming for this fight. So, so I guess I should have known that.
Yeah, I think that fight would have been a wash. Now that I think, like, now that this, it would have been a wash. I don't think it would even. I
thought it was beforehand. I thought it was beforehand. Now that this happened, I actively do not want to watch it. I mean, obviously,
I don't even want that anymore. It wouldn't even be fair.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about this during the fight. I was like, I always wanted to see Tony versus Khabib, like just for the culture, you know what I mean? Just because it kind of has to happen. But like now, it doesn't have to happen. There's no reason for it to happen. Like.
I found the post. I said, I don't think anyone should be surprised by the outcome of the Ferguson versus Oliveira fight. This was always a route to victory against Tony. Always. There was never any fundamental system of grappling that Tony executed on the ground. His submissions from the front headlock were usually off of wayward takedown attempts or snapdowns against tired opponents. They themselves flowed into his attritive game well, but they didn't represent a cog in a fully mechanized grappling system. Ferguson sporadically defends takedowns, often accepts bottom position, throws downward elbows, and tries fairly telegraphed open guard submissions when on the bottom, which are not going to confuse or catch out elite grapplers. It worked against a tired Kevin Lee. You know what I'm saying? I said, rolling for leg entanglements is great, but it is always just there in Tony's game. Look at how Ryan Hall does it versus how Tony does it. It's not the same. And what I meant by that is it's built into the way in which Ryan Hall fights, whereas Tony is like, oh, this is an option. I'm just going to run. And it can catch people off, but it won't catch a high level. Like, you're not going to get Charles Oliveira with that if you're Tony Ferguson. So that's basically my thoughts on that fight.
No, I can't express how heavily I agree with the fact of like Arman talking about how the front headlock game and the snapdowns tie into his overall like a trait of game, like because he doesn't have to grapple like from the start, like in a grappling system, in a grappling sense. His grappling game flows from his striking, the damage that he deals there, into his submission game, which is really venomous and really strong. And like his front headlock game is very, 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 very potent, but it's not like it's something that flows from his MMA game, which makes him so dangerous. That's why he's such a dangerous fighter. Everything like flows, like even like his points of danger.
It's like an algorithm. It's like this. It's like this. It's algorithmic. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like I said, like even like his little goofy spins, right? Like he'll hit you with a combo and then he'll duck off and take a shot. Then the next time he'll duck off and then throw a back elbow and you run into that because he built himself onto that, which is good stuff. You know what I mean? But like again, like with Charles, man, he was getting like just annihilated. I love speaking of the Charles, I love the passing, man. Like I don't know the name of the pass, but like Tony had a butterfly hook. He would pin his leg pin his hips with the right leg, and then step over with the left leg and pass to side control. I love that. Like again, I don't know the name of that pass.
Might have been a leg weave. I don't know. I don't know. Was it to where Tony?
I don't think it was a leg weave. No, but no, man. Like the passing of Charles was so excellent. Like beautiful to watch, and like so his top control. I will say Charles' top control looks a lot better than I've seen it normally. His top control is normally like pretty like more venomous than like controlling. But like it looked like both today, not today, yesterday I guess, or last night. Yeah, last night for us. Because he was still just a dynamic submission threat whenever like any movement started to happen, like the armbar in the first round, the triangle in the second round.
Yeah,
but then also Tony just could not get up, man. He could not get any space, could not get any motion, could not get anything going at all.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. You know, that's always the way in which his game functioned on the bottom. You know.
No, like I say, like I said, I can agree with him on that sense in the overall sense. But like, man, Charles is a great man.
Oh, no, I really thought anything away from him though. Yeah.
Like I will say, man, I was very worried at the end of the first week of armbar. I was like, oh god, this arm get broken. I was like, this is about to be bad.
It bent back.
The bell saved him. The bell saved him from like utter destruction because Tony wasn't gonna tap, or if he was gonna tap, he was gonna tap after he got broken anyway.
No, he wasn't tapped. He was screaming. He was like, ah! He was trying to hitchhiker out of it, like the hitchhiker escape. But then the cage
his arm was gone, man. It was on death's door. The bell saved him like crazy, man.
It's like, so interesting. The dynamic in that was so similar. It was almost a replica of Khabib Gaethje because in round 1 the armbar got saved by the bell. In round 2 didn't he go for a triangle from mount, but this Tony was able to escape it, right?
He had back mount. You talking about Charles? Charles had like back mount, and then Tony shook him off, and he turns into a triangle. And like during the live, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so nice to see, so beautiful."
Well, it was cool to watch him. It was pure jujitsu too. It wasn't like a combination of jujitsu and folk style riding and stuff like that. You know, it was cool to see. It was like watching not in the same way, but like when you watch a guy get grappling dominated by like GSP, it was pretty much all jujitsu, like cookie cutter jiu-jitsu stuff. It was cool to see how all jiu-jitsu passes, he from side control, he'd like clear the leg and then like springboard or windshield wiper his leg over into mount. That was gorgeous. You know,
I really liked, I'm sorry not to interrupt you. I really liked Charles Oliveira's cage grappling as well, in the sense of like Tony Ferguson was trying to walk the cage a lot and cause scrambles. So like let's say like sometimes like Tony would get mount. So Charles would abandon mount and catch like north, south, or side control. Mm-hmm. So that way now he could block Tony's hips so that he can't like flip over or anything like that or get to the
understand
side.
what was happening.
Like I really like yes, like very well, like especially because it's really easy to get flipped over from anywhere really when they start to walk the cage. Yeah. So as Tony started to walk, he'll just abandon mount or whatever position, block hips from the same side or the opposite side, and just stop the motion, and then Tony stuck back down. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's
man,
also
Charles is going to be a very good fighter in the lightweight division.
and there's that, I don't know what the fuck it's called. I was watching in a rare moment of boredom Combat Jiu-Jitsu by Eddie Bravo on Fight Pass, and it was Cade Rutolo versus PJ Barch, and both those are high-level no-gi grapplers, and Rutolo was in the bottom of side control, and it was this weird thing he did where, so what's his face, Barch had the cross-facing arm here, his head's there, and imagine that there's a vertical floor, and I'm on the floor. So what Rutolo did was, he snuck his arm around beneath the cross-facing arm.
Is it a buggy choke? Is it the choke, right?
It's this, where you get the guy's head and arm in here, and then you triangle your legs.
I think that's called... that's called a buggy choke.
Yeah, and you're triangling the guy like this. And I texted you both. I was like, "This is a you and John was like, this is a choke. It's not a gimmick either. It worked on PJ Barch. I mean, they were wearing rash guards, of course. But what you could see was it like Joe Rogan was even saying it, and this was one of the moments where Joe Rogan actually picked up on something that was happening that no one else would have if they didn't know. He was like, "That's a choke," and then he said he was correct. He said ideally he'd want Oliveira to be more perpendicular to him as opposed to parallel, like on the same plane.
Because Charles was going north-south a lot.
Yeah,
so the choke,
it was smothering the choke. You could see when the first time he just happened to be north-south, but then whenever Ferguson would go for it again, Oliveira was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go. I'm safe here now. Like you're gonna squeeze in, but I'm going back." Yeah, and that to me, those types of chokes, him going for Darce from the bottom, you can Darce someone from bottom side control if you're like way better than them. You know what I mean? I do that for fun. Yeah, I just do it like to try. Yeah, just to like. There's
this
shout out to him. He's this big old guy. He's a big bald dude with tattoos, super nice. His name is Bo. He's a brown belt in the Houston area. He was kicking my ass, and I had him in top side control. I got something here, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm about to go out. Like what's that? He was Darcy me from the bottom, but but that sort of summarizes Tony's answer to things in the bottom. It's a lot of things like that. Like it's not systematic. His game never flowed from A to B to C. His game flowed from A to E to F to back to D all the way to W. You know what I'm saying? It flowed, but it wasn't like a sequential sort of stepwise motion, and so that's my commentary on that. I'm kind of sad to see that happen to Ferguson, but I don't think it means Ferguson's out of his prime. I do think he is, but I do think this would have, like if you watch him against Danny Castillo, he was saved by the bell in an arm triangle at the end of round 3, and he's gotten better since then. Like you can see his game has evolved, but it's always the same. Like who did he fight who was going to do that to him? No one. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. Like again, like speaking of just as first speaking of the Danny Castillo fight, man, like that fight is like a really good indicator for him because as he was growing and becoming into his prime, very good indicator for who the fighter he is. That like is representative now. Then I forgot my point. I was about to say something about Charles. Yeah, I forgot. Unfortunately. Oh no, but yes, I know. About Tony. I think he's. I mean, if I had to assume, I don't think he's like in his physical prime anymore or anything like that. But even regardless, this fight was all the way wrong for him, even in his prime. Like the Charles that he fought now, if he would have fought him 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, same thing would have happened. Probably not as bad, but the same dynamic would have happened.
Yeah.
But like again, Charles, man, I cannot express and state like how much he's improved. I love to see that happen. Like I love to see guys.
He's really grown up in the octagon.
Like because he's even better than he was hyped than he was supposed to be hyped up to be when he first came to UFC like ages ago. And ages ago.
Yeah. As a 145er.
No, he was a 155er to start. He started getting beaten up, and he thought he had to drop for some reason. Even though he's enormous, 145. And he fought there for a while, wins and losses, whatever, yada yada. And he was like, "Screw cutting weight. This stuff sucks," which is good. You know what I mean? Like, well, you cutting too much weight for no reason. But no, yes, I love to see fighters develop like that, man. Become the fighter who they're supposed to be. It's just great to me. Like, again, like I said, like fighter development, it takes time, man. It takes a lot of time. Even for somebody with as much potential as Charles, man, he had to go through a lot of ups and downs.
I think he started at 20. He's in like 31 or 29 now or something.
No, he started before. I mean, he's been fighting forever, man. Like he started as like a teenager. So I think like 18, 19. He got into the UFC really early. Fought some good guys early.
He fought Frankie Edgar, man. He fought fucking Cub Swanson.
Even he was fighting Jim Miller back in 2010. He was fighting Donald Cerrone back in 2011. He's fighting good guys after.
He fought good. You named people.
But I'm going even way before then. He fought Cub Swanson in 2012. He fought prime Cub Swanson. He fought Frank Edgar, like you said, 2013.
He fought good
he's
guys.
fighting some. yes, he fought some good guys way early in his career. It took him time to develop, to learn, to get good. And like now, he's freaking awesome, man. Charles Oliveira is
He
just
exceeded expectations for his career, to be honest.
he really did. He really did to me, man.
I mean,
So I think he's gonna be a
ground
very
and
good
pound
fighter.
KO'd by Paul Felder. Think about that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then now to see at the top, he's really like the top 5 of that division, if you ask me.
He really is. He really is, man.
Maybe
He
top
really is.
6.
Like,
But just one more comment on this fight. The
mhm.
commentary here in a subtler way was so annoying because, like, I get the being, even you were kind of surprised by the dominance, but if you really understand, I'm way less advanced in my understanding of striking dynamics, right? But understanding like general dynamics, especially like grappling, obviously that's where I excel as far as what I can analyze is concerned. For now, you shouldn't be too surprised. Like watching Joe Rogan talk about like, we've never seen anyone do this to Tony. I'm like, okay,
No,
we
yeah,
haven't,
yeah,
but we
like,
haven't fought anyone whose plan was, and who not only whose plan was good, but who fights like that. Who was going to do that? Josh Thompson? Who was going to do that? What's his name? The spinning back kick guy. I can't remember. The Brazilian dude who went down to 45. Edson, thank you. Edson Barboza. Who's going to do that? Lando Venata? The only person who was really going to ever do that to him, probably honestly way worse, was Khabib Nurmagomedov. They never fought. Kevin Lee, kind of, but Kevin Lee fades, and it's not like Kevin Lee fades, and he almost did. You know what I'm saying? But like, Kevin Lee, like, he's just not as good at it. You know what I'm saying? You can scramble out of his shit more. And he faded in that fight. He did mount him. At the end of that round, he had him mounted. He passed his guard. He had him mounted. He was pummeling him. So that's annoying to me. It's like if you like, it's just annoying. They hype things up too much. Like when you say when you watch Khabib do that to RDA, and you say we've never seen anyone do this to RDA before, it kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because that's RDA's thing. Like, RDA does pressure people. He has good wrestling. But when you take a Tony Ferguson, it's like, well, actually, we have. Like, if you watch Danny Castillo almost submit him in the last round and then feel like he got robbed. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just annoyed me. It annoys me. I'm like, it's not surprising. Stop saying it. Like, you should give Charles Oliveira all the credit he deserves, but not way more. Like, I don't know. Like, this fight was always good for him, And then they also took away from the Gaethje performance. They were like, oh, no one's ever dominated Tony like that. I'm like, Gaethje beat the shit out of him. Like,
yeah.
That was worse.
Yeah. No, yes, I agree.
Anyway,
like again, we both have always been a proponent of like Tony like not the fighter to beat Gaethje, not the fighter to beat Khabib.
No, especially now.
Like I say, no, yes, but now, but like I was telling Arman before the recording, like I've always wanted to see Tony versus Khabib, like just for just for the culture, you know what I mean? Just because like it's supposed to happen, you know what I mean? But like now that I've seen this fight again, I thought even before this fight, I thought he was gonna lose really badly to Khabib, like get finished, like bad, like be really hurt. But like I have no like even like side feelings to like for that fight to happen anymore. Like I don't even want to I don't want to see it. Like I don't care for it. Like it's not even like a thing that got away. I don't feel like it got away. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I don't feel like the fight got away.
This fight kind of shows like we don't need to say because we know already what would happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the probability that Khabib can't get him down and do that? He's at least he's better, but he's at least as good as Oliveira at that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he would probably just
like,
rip his arm off, to be honest, like with a Kimura or something.
Yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, like I said, that's pretty much that. Charles Oliveira is a freaking good fighter, top 5 fighter, very good. I can't wait to see him against fights against elite guys. Yes. He always reps. He always says fighting out of Houston, but he's not really fighting out of Houston, man. Like so, like. Makes me kind of sad. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
Other than that, I know. Yeah,
what the fuck? What is that?
But no. Besides that, very good fight. We'll skip Mackenzie Dern and yeah. We'll skip that. We'll talk quickly about the rest of the card and then that'll be that. So we'll get to Kevin Holland and Jacare.
Friends with Jason Perillo on Facebook. Perillo, congrats to Darren and your fighter. It was a fun fight to watch.
Okay. Yes. But no, yeah, we'll talk about Jacare and Kevin Holland. So pretty much, man. Jacare got killed, which normally would make me sad, but not today because Kevin Holland's really good. So the fight was really quick. We don't have much to say about it. We'll go over it quickly. I really liked how Kevin Holland was at the bare minimum very active as a grappler, and it caused him. It literally allowed him to knock out Jacare just through his actions and activity on the bottom instead of freezing up and not grappling with Jacare. He didn't have the idea to not grapple with him. He didn't say I got taken down. Let me just shut up and defend for the whole round and protect myself.
Or
He was
spasm to
trying
get
to
up.
actively do things. Yes, exactly. He was actively doing things. The triangle he went through in the beginning caused action, caused commotion, caused a scramble for him to get back up to create more scrambles and all that. He started fighting off of his back a lot, and he was able to strike Jacare and hurt him really bad. And in a really weird situation. But
It probably surprised
and,
Jacare too, because I mean he's set into his knees and just fucking hit him hard. You don't expect that.
exactly. And again, man, like you said, the theme of today's podcast was the commentary. When Joe was like, "We never seen anybody get knocked out from the bottom," like Nico Price did it to Randy Brown. Even Kevin Holland
I'm
said
so
it.
glad Kevin Holland pointed that out. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Even like Nico Price done it. I remember Uriah Hall did it on that Ultimate Fighter season where he knocked the guy from the bottom. Like the commentary was just it's just not the best, man. Like it just was good.
Joe Rogan's getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was a fun fight. We need to see Chimaev versus Holland next. That's the fight to make.
Yes, man, that is the fight to make. That is awesome.
They're
man.
throwing Leon.
Like
that's just a stupid loss for Chimaev. That was supposed to be today or tomorrow. That's supposed to be next week, right? Leon versus Chimaev.
That's supposed to be next week. Yes, yeah. Leon Chimaev supposed to be next week. Again, like I don't.
And make fucking.
I want to see. I want to see Holland and Chimaev. That's a good fight. Very good fight.
It makes sense. It makes sense. How do you? I'm not going to give my opinion because it's going to take too long. But let's just see. How do you see that one briefly playing out if they were to fight?
I think Chimaev beats him.
Yeah.
I think Chimaev beats him, but it's gonna be a good test for him. Yeah. He's gonna have some trouble.
Yeah. Okay. What was next on this card that was of any interest?
It was. Well, I'm just say this: Cyril Gane is at least a functional heavyweight, which makes me happy. We have to see him fight better guys because to me, Junior Dos Santos is like super washed, super duper washed.
Yeah.
Like he's not. Yeah. So like,
it was still cool at least to watch Cyril Gane do the bouncy karate thing and throw the different kicks. He threw a kick where it's like a reverse question mark. Like how the question mark is you extend the leg and then you swing outward away from yourself. He threw it into the close side. So I'll just demonstrate real quick. So like I like this. So it's like if I'm here, right, and I throw this kick straight up, what he did was he kind of started it this way and then swung around like this. I thought that was pretty cool. It was like a I don't know. So it was interesting to see. That's something I when I was doing karate that you do there, and it was interesting to see him implement that type of thing as a heavyweight to do the bouncy thing.
No, yeah, but now it's like right now, pretty much it's just time to get
up the competition
to get him fighting good guys. Yeah,
does he have a
and Junior Dos Santos, man. Yeah, he has a heel win. No, yeah, but no, yeah, man. Now it's time to get him to fight good guys. It's heavyweight, so. But Junior Dos Santos to me, man. I'm gonna look at his record real quick.
Last 5.
He's lost 4 in a row now, all by knockout, TKO. So
he's got a family to think about with regards to his health and safety at this point, man.
Oh, I can segue this into a bigger picture thing. Okay, so like when you guys will get the heart and the will beaten out of them like so much. So like watching him fight recently, but especially against Gane.
I was gonna say
Gane, go ahead. Like I remember when Junior Dos Santos was fighting Cain Velasquez in both of their fights, or with the last 2 of their fights.
The pulverizing.
He looked insanely. He looked insanely tough. Like he would never even think about quitting. Like he was fighting to the end. But now that he's taken so many L's, so many losses, so many beatings, I'm pretty sure just the wear and tear just like
he just goes down.
Man, I'm just like and he'll cover up and not fight back and like.
Yeah. He was still throwing shit against Cain, even when his face looked like Frankenstein. He was still trying to throw elbows off of the fucking collar tie or whatever, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, but like now he just can't take any damage. He doesn't want to take any damage. Just everything about it is bad. Like,
well, I actually texted John after he got hit with that jab. Look, a couple comment. We can actually segue into the elbow in the back of the head, which it did. Look, okay, here's my thought on that. It didn't look like it was on this. It didn't look particular. It looked like it was mostly ear and back of the neck. But even if it was like back of the neck, brainstem's brutal injuries. You usually die from those. Like it's not like Cyril Gane like targeted it or anything like that, or like it was clearly showing and he decided to elbow the back of the head like in a Clint situation. It's like, especially recently, JDS has this fucking habit when he's hurt of literally turning and like stammering or like not stammering, like stumbling in the opposite direction of his opponent. So it's really not like Gane's responsibility to be like, oh, I'm not going to swing because he's turned away from me. You know what I'm saying? That's really on Junior. Just don't turn your back. Like, what do you do? Like, but I actually texted John when he first got hit. I was like, it looks like JDS thought, should I go down? Yeah, I'm gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? Because there's like a minute of hesitation, and
No, that happens, man. Like, cause people get hit hard enough, they get hard,
and then like
and it's
shit.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like that was rough. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
but you
it
see
also looked
guys
like maybe
who,
he thought he could get an illegal elbow break, because he was
no,
complaining
yeah,
after the fact. I don't know, maybe, but either way, like you were mentioning, it looked like he thought, I'm just gonna go down, take a knee.
no, like again, like obviously, I'm just making complete assumptions. Maybe that shot hurt him like super bad, and like he was legit like hurt.
He was
I'm
complaining
pretty sure. I'm
afterward.
pretty sure he was hurt. I'm pretty sure he was. But no, like a lot of people, like guys, quit in a lot of different ways. Like
I
people
know.
don't realize how easy it is to quit in fights, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's okay.
It's
You know
like
what I
tapping
mean?
out. You
Uh,
lose. You're yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like yeah, it's okay. But like again, complete like assumption on my part. But it just Junior just looking shot. He just looking like he can't fight. He can't fight at a competitive level with like reasonable guys anymore at heavyweight. And so like that makes me kind of sad, but because I don't want to see him hurt, man. Because he's a nice guy,
Yeah.
real nice guy from what I see, real nice guy. But yeah, get got in there with good guys, so that's that.
Yeah, well, good for him.
So
It was
we'll
fun to
we'll
watch.
super quick, yeah, we'll super quickly go over Cub and Daniel Pineda. Daniel Pineda is a Houston guy, but yeah, he got knocked out, which is unfortunate. He's just fighting a guy who can match him everywhere and do better than him at just about everything except for pure grappling, I would say. So, but yeah, that was just a bad fight for him. He gassed out, got knocked out. Unfortunate.
Sad because I was
We'll
really
jump to
looking forward to our Houston boy bringing it home.
no, yeah, that happened so a lot for us, though, which is unfortunate.
Our guys don't have
but
good
but
cardio.
what
Sorry.
but we'll jump to Fiziev and Moicano. I will say a lot of these fights, I didn't. Well, I rewatched a few of them, but I didn't get to see this one like live, like that cleanly, because I was
Shout
I
out your
was
boy.
watching one of my boys get a KO, but it's all right though.
Get a KO, not KO'd.
No, yeah, I said get a KO. Yeah, get a KO. He did. Yeah, he won my KO.
Mm.
But I rewatched the fight, and the dynamic of the fight beforehand to me was if Moicano could control range with his jab and kick with Fiziev. He kicked with him a little bit, but not too much. Fiziev had control of that range. He was jabbing Fiziev up pretty well, Moicano, and touching him with the right hands. Not saying that Fiziev, was like out of the fight, but like he was doing extremely good of jabbing with Fiziev, kind of keeping him at range, sticking him with some mean right hands as Fiziev was backing up. But Fiziev was able to exploit Moicano's own bad tendencies, which is backing up in straight lines, not having the best defense in the pocket. And then also, it does not help to me that I think Moicano's chin is kind of weak. The shots he got hit with are like, they're clean, but they just kind of hurt him too bad. Like for like what I would assume, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I would assume they should have hurt somebody like with a reasonable chin. It doesn't help that his defensive game and his chin kind of combined to be
They work against each other.
to be his downfall. Yeah, because Moicano's a really good fighter, man. Obviously, as is Fiziev, another guy who I want to see fight the top guys in the lightweight division. He's very good there.
Yeah.
But back in his straight lines and his chin being weak does not help him against a hard hitter like Fiziev. I don't really know what's next for Moicano too, to be honest with you, man. It's kind of sad to see him get knocked out like this because he takes when he loses, man, he takes pretty bad losses.
Really
unfortunately,
bad, yeah.
I know, yeah. Which it happens to people sometimes, man. But like when he loses, man, he gets hurt pretty bad. Yeah, But other than that, it was a very good fight for how long it lasted. Very clean fight, man. Both like the attacks of both of the guys on the feet were extremely good. Beautiful kicking from Fiziev. Beautiful straight punches from Moicano. Nice footwork all around. Nice work all around. It's just Moicano he's working from a deficit, and a deficit that he can't cover up.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate for him.
For sure. I think it just occurred to me. I was texting Treyvon. I was like, I'm having a hard time getting the read on the dynamic of this fight. I think a big part of that was just the commentary was so fucking distracting. Like, obviously Fiziev's a very good kickboxer. You can determine that just by his movement, like his technique speed. Like, there's no like meat or fluff in his or like not meat, like there's no like fat in the technique. Like he'll like switch and like throw a switch kick and then like switch into a combination like or really really quickly, so he's very good at that. But like every time he would throw a really fast like body kick or something like that and then kind of like groove around and and then he'd get hit with something and then reset, because then he got clocked over the top with like a right hand a couple of times. Joe Rogan would be like, I mean, come on, man, look at that kick. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like he's playing with fire here, Moicano, and it's like, but that's what like Moicano doesn't suck on the feet. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about, like he's not bad. He's not a bad striker by any stretch of the imagination. That's his thing. He's a good kicker and he's got a decent jab, and that, you know, he's not this like powerhouse grappler. But anyway, I don't really have much to add other than that. It was a cool KO. Fiziev's very, very, very good striker. He's clearly been doing it for a long time. He's fast. A lot of the guys who come out of, does he train at Tiger Muay Thai? Because you know, it's funny when Khalil Roundtree went there and just got this really good Muay Thai game for like heavyweight. He then got taken down by Kute Laba, and everybody was joking like now he needs to go to Dagestan for his wrestling because he got KO'd by Johnny Walker, got better at Muay Thai, and then he gets taken down. So they're like, okay, time for fucking whoever for Dagestan. But I was gonna really quickly. But I was gonna say, other than him, the exponents, especially like for some reason, like the Russian or like European exponents from who train out of there have good grappling. Like Arman Sarukian, Petr Yan, they're like actually good grapplers, and they don't.
Arman trains at a Tiger Muay Thai?
I'm pretty sure he's Petr Yan's teammate. So yeah, he did. He won like a free year from winning their tryouts. So he like.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, but they all like obviously Arman's a Georgian, Armenian, so he has a grappling background of some sort. But Petr Yan's just like a boxer, and he's got great defensive wrestling, offensive wrestling, and ground and pound. You know, so they're not a shitty. I would say he's in good hands, Fiziev. If he's got the talent, if it comes to him naturally, he can.
I think he's the coach of the Muay Thai there, or one of the coaches, something like that, like a kickboxing trainer there. Yeah, you think he's like the kickboxing coach there or something like that. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's not surprising.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. Yeah.
No.
But I think he's like one of the coaches there.
That's it's cool.
But no,
he's a coach of such a big thing and he's competing there.
Yeah.
I think that's it for that fight, right? I mean, I didn't have too much to say. Just complaining about the commentary, and he's a good striker from what I can tell.
No, yeah.
What else we got?
I didn't get to see Gavin Tucker versus Billy Quarantillo because I think my guy was fighting at that time. He was getting his win. Yeah, no, I heard it was a good fight too. I heard it was like fight of the night. Well, close to fight. Yeah, close. Yeah, congrats him. But close to fight of the night after Moreno and Fig. But Gavin Tucker, I've always been a big fan of Gavin Tucker. I think he's really good, really fun fighter to watch. And Quarantillo, I don't know much. I mean, other than the fight against Spike Carlisle, I didn't see him much. But I had a feeling it was gonna be a good fight. I didn't get to watch it though. I seen like little.
Watch it after
pieces.
this. It was very good. Quarantillo is very. I mean, he's very scrappy, but. He was a perfect fighter for Gavin Tucker to use this shit on. I mean, Gavin Tucker was doing a really good job with his left and right. He got caught once and then kind of had like bad cage control and got stuck against the cage. But like his movement underneath the lead hooks and stuff like that of Quarantillo to sidestep him and get around because he didn't want to be crowded. His lead hand was really good. He was checking. I think he was a southpaw, so they were in open stances. He was checking the lead hand of Quarantillo, coming with left straights, kind of like how in a much a more precise and less sort of dogfighty way Marvin Vittori was doing against Hermanson. We totally missed that, but Marvin Vittori is kind of one note, checking the thing, throwing the left straight. It was a fun fight. I liked it. I was very surprised, honestly. But he was checking it. He was throwing the left straight. He was actually doing a really good job of doing that and then coming into the clinch. Like basically, the lead hand was very important for him. He was throwing a jab, but I noticed more that he was sort of framing or checking the lead hand and entering with his southpaw attacks, like a left body kick, left straight, and then into a left knee. Like what he would do is he would then take the open side, enter the open side, grab a thing, throw the knee, then frame off and push away or enter a clinch where he was confidently fighting, and he'd break away from these clinches with elbows. He was a good clinch fighter, and like he talked about in some interview where he had more wrestling, but his wrestling was so good from the clinch. Like he would facilitate clinch entries with his striking, from which he could do like striking damage. And then he would hit a really nice trip or something. And I don't think the commentary picked up on it, but he was getting tired toward the end of round 3. And but his ability to wrestle from the clinch really saved him there. And also he was working the body, throwing like kicks to the body, throwing hooks to the body. When he would get up against the fence, he was throwing knees to the body, which are really good. Honestly, just lots of good movement side to side. He would duck underneath, like there were, I think Quarantillo would throw some like lead hook and he would duck underneath it and ended up on the other side. So he'd have like an angle over the top of Quarantillo's shoulder and he'd move around. All in all, just really good technical work and from Gavin Tucker. I was actually really, really impressed, and it was a really, really good fight to watch. His wrestling was on point too. His grappling, very, very, it was honestly high level stuff. He took the back. He was using power half Nelson from the back to try and force Quarantillo back down. Once he had the hooks in, and then when it didn't go his way, he got swept. He spent no time on the bottom. He immediately got up. He hip heisted, framed off the head, got his leg out, limp legged, and then was back to work. Very disciplined fight. So great. all around. He's gonna be a what division is that in? 145.
145.
Yeah, I think he's a great addition to that. It's such a stacked division.
No, yeah. No, yeah, it's really good. I just seen that he's 34 though, which really surprised me. He looks like a little kid to me for some reason.
Looks like a
Like
28-year-old.
some people. Yeah, no, he looks really young. But I mean, he's still. I mean, well, he did okay in the Rick Glenn fight. He took a lot of damage, but other than that,
In the what?
the Rick Glenn fight, he
Yeah,
got
yeah.
beat up really bad in that fight. That was a really bad fight. Terrible. It should have been stopped. But beside the point, he is a great addition to a great person to be at 45. 45 is an awesome division as always. Clearly, and I guess that's about it. I mean, T-shirt Torres won. I didn't get to see that fight either. I think that was during my friend's fight, Cameron's fight. And then Chase Hooper won as well, and yeah, he won. So
I want to talk about
I think that's about that for the.
No,
okay, that's cool. You can talk about it.
Squakley and Tisha Torres, good fight. Lots of cool. The one thing I thought was interesting about that was that, well, we're gonna ride on the commentary a little more. The interesting thing I remember Tisha Torres doing, she's just very aggressive, but it was like throwing the Superman punch and then like finishing with the leg kick. Every like 3 Superman punches, she'd finish like that, or she'd like use it to march into like just hand pumpy combinations. She was just getting off first, getting off, faster, nice. Overall, she was doing really well in that fight. It was really just outgunned. Sam Hughes, I think her name was. But Joe Rogan made it seem like she was like on fire. Like, look at the fluidity of her striking. At certain points, she was literally like Rock'em Sock'em, like pumping hands as she was like a cardio kickboxing mom. You know what I'm saying? Like shifting punch, like stepping into, you know what I mean? And it was working because whenever she'd crowd the opponent into the fence and like corral her into the cage, she could do that with kind of impunity. But then DC kind of said that Sam Hughes wanted out of the fight because she couldn't see out of her left eye. And it was the same problem DC had. And he says, no. Sam said she couldn't see because she knew to be stopped, but she doesn't want to look like a weakling. So she's like, no, I want to keep fighting. But that's just for show, is what she said. Look, and he kept trying to point out, like, oh, there's a moment's hesitation. I don't like it when commentary speaks on behalf of what a fighter's thinking. You just have no way of knowing. She's just telling her coach, I can't see. Maybe it's just like saying my hand's broken. You know what I'm saying? It's like, did Mackenzie Dern won out of that fight when she said my nose is broken? No, she got up and fought even. You know what I'm saying? It's just she made the decision to communicate it. You know what I mean? So fuck it, like whatever. But okay, now Chase Hooper, Treyvon, I will until he gets better, which won't happen in UFC. I'm gonna shit on this man. I don't care how good a grappler he is. I don't give a shit. That guy does not. You would beat the shit out of Chase Hooper, in my opinion. I mean that. I think you could smoke Chase Hooper. I don't think he can take you down. I don't think he can take me down. His wrestling is 0. I mean, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? The bum they pulled out of God knows fucking what corner stuffed his head between his legs and on a double, and Chase Hooper doesn't switch off to a single. He doesn't get on his knees and try and hit an Iranian. Or I say it like a white guy. They call it an Iranian. It's like a takedown. It's a double leg with the head beneath the legs. All the Iranian wrestlers showed up to an Olympic Games doing that or something like that. Didn't pull his head away, didn't disengage, didn't try and pull out and go for an upper body clinch. He didn't do anything. He was just sitting there like this, like Royce Gracie against Kazushi Sakuraba. Like, we're back to fucking Pride whatever with Royce Gracie stuffing his head between people's legs and holding onto double leg like this. He got saved by the fact that even at the highest levels, although this fight was by no means at the highest level, MMA fighters have no idea what to do with leg entanglements. No idea. I've been spamming BJJ Scout videos and other breakdowns on how to escape those because I don't really like them as part of my grappling philosophy, but I understand their potency, so I want to know how to escape them. A basic principle of getting out of a lot of leg entanglements is keep your base more elevated than theirs. Clear the knee, but really what's important is to break the lock, right? Like, if someone has a leg entanglement on you, if you watch Vinny Magalhaes versus Gordon Ryan, important, like, you'll turn away from it. Keep your base elevated. You don't sit to your hips like this because then they already win the thing. Keep your base elevated. You press down on the ankles, and what you really want to do is destroy the leverage that the lock has over your leg. So the fundamental thing there is breaking the lock and keeping your base higher, right? And then walking up, like running man escape from there. It's just, that guy was just like, oh no, I got my leg. And then he tapped and then blew his knee out in a fight he was winning. Like, Treyvon, I don't know why they signed him. I don't get it. I mean, they made a weird little show with Ben Askren on Fight Pass about how have you seen that on Fight Pass? There's a show.
No, I haven't seen
There's a show called The Askren Family where Chase Hooper is this really poor, like, quasi sitcom where Chase Hooper shows up to Ben Askren's house and he's like, I'm your son. And it's just this cringe-worthy thing that they're doing. I don't get the appeal. He's not good. He's not good looking. He's not very charismatic. And if he is, they don't give him that much attention. I mean, he's on the undercard of the only person on the early prelims. They need to cut him. It's not like he's literally doing himself a disservice. Like, they're not paying him anything either, I bet, with that fucking developmental contract. Like, I don't give a shit how much hate I get for this. I don't think he belongs in the UFC. No, he doesn't belong in the UFC. I bet you if he had a wrestling match, it'd be a tie. Like, I don't think he could take me down. For fuck's sake, that guy sucks. He's bad. He's just really tough. Like, he should be. But being tough, he's just taking unreasonable damage for no reason. His fight against the Contender Series, shame on that guy for getting tired. I mean, he pulverized Chase Hooper at 18 years of age, getting abused like that. Like, literally call CPS. That's fucking horrible. It shouldn't be happening, man. Who the fuck let him in and why? And then Dana White even, like, very smiley alluded to it. You know, you can't be taking damage like that forever. It's not going to work forever. Like, yeah, it won't work for fucking ever. Like, holy shit. Imagine you lost to Alex Caceres. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. Who the fuck loses to Alex Caceres in 2020? They're crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? Even Carl Gracie, who can strike for nothing, got on Caceres' back in round 1 and squeezed him to death. I don't know. It's just pissed me off. It pisses me off to see it. Now, I was on YouTube. I made a comment one time. I was like, I know so many people who could beat his ass. And they're like, you're a keyboard warrior. You don't know anybody who can beat his ass. I was like, I train in the same gym that Treyvon Giles used to train at. I have a bunch of amateur friends. You don't know anything. Like, you don't understand how bad. He's like, he's one of the best ground fighters in the world. I'm like, okay, he was a good purple belt at best. You know what I'm saying? Like, I promise you there's, like, mediocre grapplers in the UFC who just would just shut him down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to talk about, like, one of the best grapplers in the world? Don't bring up Ryan Hall. He's very, very good, but he never won ADCC. He never won any giant... At purple belt, he lost to Nate Diaz. You know what I'm saying? And he's still one of the best grapplers in the UFC. So don't tell me Chase Hooper is one of the best grapplers in the world. He got saved off a Hail Mary leg entanglement after almost losing his life against someone you've never heard of. Literally never heard of. That guy looked like he just checked out of... I don't even want to... It just pissed me off. That guy looked like budget Diego Sanchez, which is saying something. Let me tell you, that guy put Chase Hooper had a double, and the guy literally tried to fucking pile drive him. He kept going to try and pick him up like he was the Undertaker or something. And I was like, what are you doing, man? And he still couldn't finish the takedown. That fight was the saddest thing I've seen in a while, okay? The saddest thing I've seen in a while. The only thing sadder is that one of my jiu-jitsu professors died. That's the only thing sadder that I've seen. I swear to God, that was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in a long time.
Okay, that's good. You guys were good thank you for watching this episode. We'll be back here next week. We'll discuss stuff. Goodbye, you guys. You had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. My head is hurting from laughing. Bye, you guys.
Goodbye.